Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Yeah, Alpha, I know my left and right. Oh, they're nautical terms. Well, one is an older nautical term, but it checks out. What does that have to do with fists? Why do you want chicken tenders? You are literally a chicken. Alpha, you will be the death of me. No, that's not the bloody point. Time to learn about Alphascape version 3. Simplified. When you load into the fight, you'll see a duty action button labelled Omega Jammer. Keep this in mind for later. Atomic Ray is a room-wide AoE. Mustard Bomb is a cleaving tank buster, so don't stand with a tank unless you really want to decipher the intricate language written on the floor. Every player will be targeted with a small point-blank AoE. All players will need to spread out as best they can. While everyone is spreading out, Omega will cast Flamethrower. This will throw out several narrow conal AoEs with a safe spot between each one. Everyone will have to dodge each other's AoE as well as the Flamethrower AoEs from Omega. When everything goes off, the AoEs that were on players will linger as small fire puddles. If you walk through any of these, they will give you a 12-second unassumable burns debuff. Then Omega will perform either larboard or starboard wave cannon. This will cleave the arena in an AoE that's a bit more than 180 degrees depending on which way Omega is facing. If Omega casts larboard wave cannon, it will cleave its left side, so standing on its right side will be safe. And starboard wave cannon will cleave its right side, so standing on its left side will be safe. When it cleaves the arena, it will also spin around and face the opposite direction and perform another wave cannon, but it will be random which one it performs. Here's an easy way to dodge the second cast as you've dodged the first one. If it's the exact same cast, as an example starboard and then starboard again, move to the opposite side of Omega. If it's the opposite cast, as an example larboard then starboard, stay on the same side. If you get hit by a wave cannon, you'll get a hard hit with a vuln stack. If you get hit by 2 in a row, it will more than likely delete you. Omega will cast Peripheral Synthesis. This will create a row of fists called Rocket Punch that will slowly move across the arena. If you get hit by one of these fists, it will slightly knock you back and also give you a vuln stack. They are targetable, but you cannot damage them with attacks. Instead, you are going to target them and use the duty action button of Omega Jammer. These will severely damage the fists in a medium-sized AoE that will also damage the fists on either side of the one you are targeting. The fists will only take 2 hits of the jammer in order to be defeated. As long as you aren't in the path of a fist, you'll be okay. The fists will repeat and be accompanied with a flamethrower from Omega. When you get Omega below 70% health, it will cast Program Loop and create a lingering donut AoE on the outside and a lingering small AoE in the middle. Touching either of these AoEs will instantly kill you. When Program Loop finishes casting, Omega will fly out of the arena. An ad called Level Checker will spawn in the middle of the arena. Destroy it as quickly as you can. It will cast Executable. Every time this cast finishes, everyone will get the debuff of Looper. There will be 8 meteor circles that will spawn in, 4 on the outside and 4 on the inside. There must be 1 person in each of these circles to soak the damage of the meteor and also cleanse the Looper debuff. If a meteor tower is missed, it will explode and give everyone a stack of damage down. If a player doesn't stand in a meteor tower and their Looper debuff expires, it will change into memory loss, which will cause the player to lose control of their character for several seconds as it runs aimlessly around the arena. When the next executable cast finishes, there will only be 4 meteor towers on the inside. It will create a large point-blank AoE around itself called Reset when these appear. This is followed by a larger donut AoE. If you get hit by either of these AoEs, you will get a stack of damage down. Everyone will need to move out of the first Reset AoE, then move back in to stand in a meteor tower to dispel the Looper debuff. After this, the level checker will slowly cast Force Quit. This is its enrage cast. If you do not kill it by the time this cast ends, you will wipe and have to start again. If the party has a lot of damage downs, I'd recommend for melee DPS to use the LB3 that you get during this ad phase. When you defeat the level checker, the arena will return to normal. Omega will reappear at the north end of the arena and start casting Delta Attack. After a few seconds, a bar labelled Electromagnetic Induction will appear. An orb called Conductive Focus with 2 arrows pointing towards it will appear in the middle of the arena. You will need to target this orb and begin spamming the duty action of Omega Jammer. Every press of the Omega Jammer while targeting the orb will fill up the bar. If this bar does not fill up by the time Delta Attack finishes casting, Omega will delete the party. When the bar fills up, it will create a dome of an electromagnetic field which will shield you from most of the damage from Omega's ultimate. If you are not inside the dome when Delta Attack finishes casting, it will instantly kill you. After the ultimate goes off, Omega will return to the arena. Omega will repeat mechanics from phase 1 with a few added ones thrown in. Peripheral Synthesis will now also potentially spawn in a giant fist instead of the row of smaller ones. These fists will dash across the arena in a thick straight line AoE and will instantly kill you if you're standing in their path. There can be up to 2 fists on different sides of the platform, so you'll need to make sure that you're well out of the way. You can also get a pattern of the row of fists with the larger fist. One player will get a stack marker with the cast of Electric Slide. When this cast finishes, Omega will face the player that is targeted and jump to where they are standing. Group up to share the damage. The Mustard Bomb Tank Buster will now also have a tether that will target a random player. The off-tank will need to intercept this tether by walking through it and dragging the tether away from the party, preferably to a corner of the platform. This is because the tethered player will be hit hard with a large AoE on their position right after the main tank is hit with a tank buster. Anyone caught in the AoE will get an assumable paralysis debuff. During this phase, mechanics will begin to overlap or go off one after the other, and mechanics will cycle and repeat until Omega is being defeated. completed. Congratulations, you have defeated Omega 11. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.